Few band names in rock history have sparked more curiosity than the Marshall Tucker Band. At first glance, it sounds like the name of a person, perhaps a legendary frontman or a mythical figure from Southern folklore. But the truth is far more down-to-earth and charming. The band's name was born entirely by accident. It came from a forgotten key, an old rehearsal space, and a bit of fate that would turn a simple misunderstanding into one of the most iconic names in Southern rock. The story begins in 1972 in Spartanburg, South Carolina, where 6 local musicians, Doug Gray, Toy Caldwell, Tommy Caldwell, George McCorkle, Jerry Eubanks, and Paul Riddle, came together to form a new band. Each of them brought something different to the table: blues grit, country warmth, jazz chops, and rock energy. Together, they created a sound that was both rugged and soulful, music that felt like the South itself, alive with stories of heartbreak, highways, and hope. But before they could take the stage, they needed a name. During their early rehearsals, the group rented an old warehouse in downtown Spartanburg. On their first day there, they noticed that the key to the building had a name etched into it: Marshall Tucker. The same name was faintly scribbled on the door. None of the band members knew who Marshall Tucker was. They just assumed he might have been the landlord or maybe a local businessman. When someone asked what they should call themselves for their upcoming gig, one of the musicians shrugged and said, "Let's just call it the Marshall Tucker Band." It sounded right, strong, Southern, and mysterious. Nobody expected it to stick. But by the end of the night, it did. Only later did they discover the truth. Marshall Tucker was a real person, not a promoter or musician, but a blind piano tuner who had once rented that same building. He had no idea that his name had been borrowed, much less that it would soon be known across America. Years later, after the band achieved success, they met Tucker in person and shared a laugh about the coincidence. What makes the story so enduring is how perfectly it reflects the spirit of the band itself. The name wasn't crafted by a marketing team or chosen for image. It came from a real, local story, grounded in the everyday life of the South. It was simple, authentic, and full of character, much like the music they made. When the Marshall Tucker Band released their self-titled debut album in 1973, they quickly became part of the vanguard of Southern rock, alongside Lynyrd Skynyrd, the Allman Brothers Band, and the Charlie Daniels Band. Their songs, Can't You See, Heard It in a Love Song, and Fire on the Mountain, blended heartfelt storytelling with warm harmonies and powerful musicianship. The name, once just a placeholder, became synonymous with sincerity and Southern soul. In interviews, the members often joked, "We didn't even meet the guy until long after we'd borrowed his name." That humility and humor became part of their legend. Fans loved the story because it felt so human. Proof that sometimes the best things in life happen by pure accident. Looking back, the tale of how the Marshall Tucker Band got their name feels poetic. It's the story of destiny in disguise. 6 musicians, an unmarked door, and a name that just happened to fit. Over 50 years later, that name still resonates, not because of who Marshall Tucker was, but because of what it came to represent: honesty, heart, and the enduring spirit of Southern rock.